and talk, and let's not talk about it in the kitchen or the stairway, all right? I thought I said that nicely.
No, you didn't.
Okay. Sit down, Karen, and see what's going on. Here, let's have a seat.
Sure. Well, I'll tell you what's going on.
That's out of your mind. I don't think we formally met, but
No.
I'm Karen.
How you doing?
Good. So, what's happening? What's going on?
Well, I'm in charge of doing the 4:30 pre-shift meeting.
Okay.
Chef interrupted me, even though I'm supposed to lead the meeting, and he went on and on about how I should go to him, that it looks really bad because I said that they were out of plastic cutlery, and there are all these places, and that he went on and on about like how, for example, if somebody from our department orders sanitation, there's a million types of sanitation. He went on and on and on. And I said, thank you. I said, I did not know that you ordered a plastic cutlery. I said, thank you for that information. I did not know that you were in charge of that. And I said, I will absolutely ask you next time. That should have been the end of it. I took accountability for asking Barb where the cutlery was. I apologized in front of all the crew.
Can I stop you just for a second and ask a question? Just because I want to make sure I'm understanding. So you're in charge of doing like
The pre-shift meeting. Yes.
Okay, so how did this topic of plastic cutlery come up? That's kind of
He
where I'm lost.
interrupted me and just started laying into it.
Okay, I understand he interrupted you.
Yeah.
Were you talking about
No.
the availability of it?
No.
What were
No.
you speaking about when he brought that up?
He just interrupted and just brought it up.
There was no context to that
No,
interruption.
exactly.
Okay.
You didn't like say you were out of it or couldn't find it or anything?
Yesterday, I looked everywhere. The only thing I could find was 2 boxes of knives. So in the manager notebook, I wrote in the manager notebook to Barb, in the manager log, I couldn't find any plastic cutlery.
Barb's not here today.
Right.
And is it only Barb that looks at that notebook?
I don't know. That's a very good question. I'm assuming it's only Barb, just because the manager log is on her table, but I could be wrong. I don't know the answer to that.
Okay, because I
don't know
started
the
the same
answer.
day you did, so I don't know all of the processes.
Yeah, I don't know either.
So, okay. So, what were you talking about when he interrupted you?
Well, Barb said to do people, products, and profit. So I was on the people section.
And Chef just
Yes.
decided to blurt that out?
Yes. Which is fine. I acknowledge that I did not know he was in charge of the ordering. I took accountability for saying that there was none because I couldn't find any. And all I could find was the knives. I apologized in front of everyone. And I thanked him for his feedback. I thought that was it. But then he went on and on and on and on. He kept going on and kept going on and on about this Sandy story. And he repeated himself at least 4 times.
Okay, what was his tone when he did that?
Oh, very hostile.
Okay. How did that finally come to an end?
I said, okay, I said, I hear you. And I said, I would like your team to give me the same courtesy. I said, you want us to go to the head when there's something, do you know what I mean? From what he was saying, he doesn't want me to go to the other chef saying, hey, I ran a plastic cutlery because they might not know. He wants me to go to the head. And I said, I need you to, I said, I would like the same courtesy to the supervisor, not to me, to the supervisor, because Barbara's hiring a bunch of supervisors. And he said, well, we can't always do that. And I said, well, you're asking for us always to go to the head of your department, and I'm asking for you to tell your team to go to the head of our department, which is the supervisor or the manager, if there's a manager. And then they started giving excuses. They're like, well, we tell the food runners, well, you're not always upstairs. Well, there's not always a supervisor. And I'm like, well, there is now. And you can call down and you can ask for the supervisor. And I explained to them, it's very embarrassing when I go and take an order. Like, I go and take orders, and I'm not ringing them in so that I don't get the tips. I'm ringing them in so that the staff get the tips. So I'm going up to people and I'm saying, hi, you ready to order? And they're saying, yes, I would like so-and-so and so-and-so. So then I go up either to the server or to the bartender and I'd say, table 4 would like this and this. And then they're the ones who tell me, oh, we're out of that, which is very embarrassing because I'm the supervisor and I should know. So then I have to go back to the table as the supervisor and say, oh, hey, we're out of that, which is embarrassing and unprofessional because I should be told when we're out of things.
So, are we still talking about cutlery, or are we talking about menus on the, or items on the menu?
We're talking about, that was my example of like, I need to be told when the kitchen runs out of things. So I said, you want us to come to the head of the department when you run out of paper goods or whatever. And I was saying, I need your people to come to my head of the department. I was trying to make a parallel comparison. I said, need to come to my head of the department when you run out of something.
Okay.
And then
how did you respond to that?
Oh, well, like I said, they just started making excuses. So then everybody started flying off excuses. And I've got 5 or 6 men all saying, well, you're not there. Well, we tell the food runner. Well, we tell Nick. Like, they're just making excuse after excuse after excuse. And I'm saying, okay, like, just call down. You have a phone. Just call down and ask for the supervisor. And they're like, well, there's not always a supervisor. I'm like, well, there is now. It's not always me. There's going to be other supervisors. Just call down and ask for the supervisor. So then the supervisor can tell everybody, right? Because the food runner's not going to make sure that everybody does it, especially the food runners here. But the supervisor will make sure that everybody knows. That's the supervisor's job. And they just kept bombarding me with excuses. And I'm like, it's exactly the same. So then I finally said, look, I said, you want me to come to the head of your department. I said, I'm asking, and I said, when you asked me to come to the head of department, I apologize, I supported you, I thanked you for that input. I said, when I asked for the exact same courtesy, you're making excuses, you're arguing with me, and you're belittling me. And then he stood up and said, we're out of here because you have to have the last word, and he took everybody out. And as soon as he did that, Nick just turned around and started screaming at me.
Nick,
yes,
Nick,
the bartender, because clearly now everybody has it's been clearly, demonstrated that it is okay to scream at the one woman. So then Nick turned around at me and started screaming at me.
What did Nick start screaming?
He started screaming at me, you have to give me change, you have to give me change. And I was like, no, I do not have a bank. You have to go and get a bank. And he started screaming at me, no, the supervisor gives me change, the supervisor gives me change. And I said, no, I don't have a bank. You have to go and get your own change. And then he was screaming at me so much that I left and removed myself and called Barbara. I've worked 12 days straight and I've done an impeccable job. Nothing would have passed food health inspection. Nothing. There was broken champagne bottles. There was empty booze all over in the back. The walk-in fridge was full of broken glass. Like, everything is a food and health safety
let's stay on
violation.
topic on what happened.
Well, this is because I've been doing an excellent job, and I did not appreciate being screamed at by 6 men and being disrespected when I am doing my job. And if you want me to leave, that would be great, because it is my boyfriend's birthday, and I requested in writing to have this day off.
And you talked to Barbara about that?
Yes.
Any questions?
No, I just,
Are you requesting to leave?
Well, I don't know. Is the staff going to respect that I'm the supervisor and I'm doing my job and I am fair and kind and nice and thank everybody? If I ask somebody, hey, can you go bust the tables? And they do. I say, thank you very much. Even though it's their job. I give people time. I don't micromanage them. You know, I asked 2 days ago for Nick to clean the bar because, again, it was a health hazard. And he had done it like within 2 hours. So then I went back and I'm like, hey, can you do that? The same thing with Thomas and the vacuuming. I spend 5 hours a day trying to get him to, one, vacuum the floors because it's his job and they're very dirty. The fun center, and I'm in charge of the fun center as well. And with COVID, you know, you're supposed to wipe off all the high-touch surfaces. Well, all the games are extraordinarily high-touch surfaces, and they should all be wiped off all the time, and nobody is. And I ask the staff over and over, and I even gave him a checklist, and he just gave it back to me, and I'm like, no, the checklist is for you. It's a very small checklist, and it's basically just wipe everything twice a day and vacuum twice a day. Even if you vacuum once a day, I'd be happy. But like, if there's not going to be any respect towards management who's simply trying to like have bare minimum health and safety standards, then like...
Well...
So what were you and Nick discussing in the kitchen when I approached you?
I was trying to put all the alcohol in there because basically all the alcohol is sitting out, and it is my job to go, well, it's actually Nick's job, but he won't do it. So I wanted to log the alcohol so that you don't lose any alcohol into the book, into the alcohol room. So I'm trying to move it there. It is actually not my job to put it on the bins and take it down. He's supposed to do all this. He's the bartender. However, Nick and Shane just want the supervisor when they screw up, but they don't want to like adhere to like the same rules as everybody. So I was trying to put the heavy bins of alcohol on the cart, and he moved the cart away from me, and he said something like, excuse me or something, and I said, I thought you were saying sorry for yelling at me. And then he just said, I'm matching your energy.
Who said that to you?
Nick said that. Yeah, I'm a little traumatized because I've been screamed at by a bunch of men. And I'm sorry if that's a bad energy, but I was in charge of the meeting, and now all the men think that they can just scream at me. So Barbara told me to finish the shift and do their job. So do you want me to finish the shift and do their job, or do you want me to leave?
Do you feel like you can be here and work?
Are you going to talk to the staff and have them respect my authority? If the answer is no, then absolutely not. This is a hostile, toxic environment, incredibly sexist, and I do not deserve to be screamed at when I've been here every single day for 12 days.
You're not answering my question.
I did answer your question.
Do you think you can stay and work? I can talk to them, but I can't make them do something. I can't control
Okay,
what
but
they
can
actually...
you say, like...
Can you please not raise your voice at me?
I'm very sorry, I am hearing impaired.
I can have conversations with them, but I can't guarantee anything.
Okay, so I'm being pulled over by you guys, and I'm being treated like the bad person. How come no one's talking to the chef?
That is my next step.
And then how come no one's
You
talking
won't
to
be
Nick?
involved in that process because that's going to be between
Thank
us
you.
and the
I
chef.
didn't know that. I thought, well, it's strange that I'm the first person being pulled over.
Well, the
You
reason
filed the complaint. We were
Victoria.
contacted. And
Barbara
so we wanted...
told me to do that.
the reason I brought you down here to the Human Resources office is because of the behavior I witnessed in the kitchen.
Of Nick yelling at me?
I want to say what happened in the kitchen.
Oh, she was yelling at Nick.
I was not yelling at Nick.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway.
I
The
said
truth
I
is
thought
I'm
you were going to
having
I
a
talk.
really
loud
need you to
argument.
lower your voice, or I'm going
hearing
to send
impaired.
you home.
Yeah, I'm going home.
It is not because you're
I'm
hearing
going
impaired, you're
home.
getting frustrated.
No, I'm traumatized. It's, you know what? It's hate. I'm leaving.